The story begins inside Rossmore Prison, where two prisoners were standing face to face to fight each other. John threw the first punch, but then that second prisoner, named Nelson, pulled out his screwdriver. However, John had also brought all his weapons with him. He threw a knife at Nelson, but he ducked just at the right moment. Both pounced on each other, but soon this brawl turned into wrestling. As soon as John got the chance, he attacked Nelson with his blade, but instead of entering, the knife broke. It turned out that Nelson was wearing a stolen license plate under his uniform. Seeing this, John was also impressed. John's story is very different. He has been coming and going from jail since the age of 8. He started when, in his childhood, he stole a lottery company's van and then, taking their big check, went straight into a bank, saying, "Deposit this into my account." "Hey kid, where is your account?" The police picked him up, arrested him, and took him straight before Judge Nelson Biederman. The judge not only sentenced him to 7 years, but also insulted him. John was listening to all of this. He just didn't say anything. But anger was clearly visible in his eyes. The judge gave the verdict, and from here, his coming and going from jail began. A few years later, when he was released from jail, he tried to rob 2 policemen at gunpoint. He also said, "I can kill you," but even standing face to face, his aim missed. Then he was caught again and stood before Judge Biederman once more. The same courtroom, the same old speech, and again the same jail. Now, at the age of 24, he came out again. But again, within 6 months, he was back inside for trying to steal a car. This time, the judge said, "When you don't know how to steal and crime doesn't happen through you, you get caught, then why do you do it? Are you crazy?" John wasn't just stung by the punishment. Every time, the judge would definitely taunt him that he was a #1 idiot. But this time, after coming out, he thought that he would go back only after taking revenge on the judge. "I will fix his game," he thought. He called the courthouse so he could talk to the judge, but the receptionist told him that Judge Biederman was no longer there, meaning the judge didn't retire, he died. He got very angry that I should have killed him myself a few days ago. In anger, he jerked the phone. Then he came out of the booth and shot bullets at the phone in anger. Then he went to a bar to calm down a bit. There, his eyes fell on a newspaper. The article was written about the judge's son, Nelson Biederman IV. Both father and son had the exact same name. Now it came to his mind that, "I will take revenge for the father from his son." The next morning, he went to a Biederman Foundation event held in memory of the judge. When the judge's son, Nelson, went up on stage and was saying great things about his father, John secretly slipped into his car. He emptied his asthma pump and spat in his drink. After the speech ended, Nelson sat in his car and left for the office, where some important people were waiting for him. As soon as he drank his drink, a different taste came. The taste felt a bit strange, so he started wondering if something had been mixed in it. On the other side, John was also following him by driving alongside. Suddenly, Nelson felt the need for his asthma pump. He took out his inhaler, which was completely empty because John had already emptied it. Seeing the pump empty, Nelson got very scared. He started gasping for breath. He suffered an asthma attack. Now, panting very badly, he quickly went into a medicine shop. His throat was completely choking. He couldn't even say anything. He started quickly, looking for a pump on the counter. While he was struggling and running everywhere looking for his pump, the old couple who owned the shop thought that he was stealing. Finally, when he found the pump, he tried to show that "I have not come to harm you." As soon as he was raising his hands, John fired a shot in the air from outside. As soon as the old man heard the sound, he thought that Nelson had a gun. He quickly pressed the alarm to call the police, and on the other side, the old woman took out a long gun. Outside, John was happy because his mission was completed. The judge's dear son would now go inside on a case of robbery at gunpoint. Now, Nelson was shouting at his lawyer, Dwayne, in custody, but it was clearly visible in the CCTV that he was making a commotion inside the shop. His lawyer said, "Look, all the evidence is against you, so it would be better if you confess to your crime." Along with this, he would have to resign from the post of chairman of the Biederman Foundation. His lawyer, Dwayne, was talking at this time on speakerphone in front of all the board members. Everyone believed that it would be right to remove Nelson from the post. Anyway, when Nelson was taken before the judge, he tried to talk to her. He said, "Look, I can be of great use to you. You must know my father. We have a lot of money. Whatever you want." But Judge Eva didn't like all this at all. She said, "Sit down and wait like everyone else. When your turn comes, we will talk." Soon the trial began, and very strange people were sitting in the jury. As soon as they saw the CCTV footage, they made up their minds that yes, this man is a robber. Nelson's lawyer, Dwayne, is also a #1 loser. Making a very poor defense, he told a story to the jury. Look, after watching Jurassic Park, we feel that dinosaurs are real, but they are not real. Likewise, this CCTV footage looks real. But who knows whether it is or not? Anything can happen on camera. This is a good man. Let him go. But even after all this, everyone sitting in the jury found Nelson guilty. After which, Judge Ava sentenced him to 5 years. And in this moment, John saw Nelson walking on the same path for the first time on which his father had made John walk repeatedly. Later, he was sitting with his friends, blowing smoke. But his mind was still not calm. Then 2 men knocked on their house door. They had come to buy drugs from them. He understood that these were policemen, but still, he called them inside and sold the drugs. As soon as they left, John told his friends, "If you don't want to go to jail, run from here," because he knew what was going to happen now. He was going to go back to jail, and this time he was doing all this knowingly. In the first hearing, he didn't get into any drama. When he was sent before the judge, he quietly admitted his crime and requested Rossmore Prison to serve his sentence, because that's where Nelson was going to go. The judge accepted his request and sent him to the same jail. Now Nelson and John were sent to jail in the same bus. The atmosphere on the way was quite strange, but John, acting with love, asked Nelson his name and said that he hoped they would stay together in jail. He promised, "If you stay with me, you will be saved." Upon reaching the jail, the new prisoners stood in line to meet the warden for the first time. But hearing the warden's words, all their faces fell. The warden said, "If you don't want to fight, then don't talk to anyone. And if a fight happens, then don't complain about anyone. If you think something wrong is happening in jail, then keep your thoughts to yourself, because I don't give a damn." After this, John made some arrangements and got Nelson's room assigned with him. Now he has found the true purpose of his life: to make the life of that old judge's son more difficult. When they both entered their cell, looking at the toilet, the rich boy started crying, but John warned him, "Stop crying. If anyone sees you, people will eat you alive here. Even if you are feeling scared, don't show it, okay?" When Nelson was pretending to show courage, the other prisoners passing by also laughed, and in this way the story of the 4th generation of the Biederman family in jail began. Anyway, during lunch, both went to the canteen together. John had spent a lot of time in this jail, so he knew a lot about everyone. Pointing, he told Nelson that he is Leonard, who is the leader of the White Kingdom gang. These are very good people. They don't say anything to anyone. John was deliberately trying to trap Nelson. Anyway, both were talking while eating, when suddenly Leonard jumped on another prisoner and killed him with a knife by slamming him straight onto their table. John secretly moved to the side, but Nelson froze right there. Soon the guards came running and they asked Nelson who actually killed this man. At John's signal, Nelson told them that Leonard killed him. Well then, what? Poor Nelson was included among Leonard's enemies. Returning to the cell, John scolded him. "Why did you open your mouth unnecessarily?" To this, Nelson said, "You were the one who told me." "Oh no, I was signaling something else, man. You took it wrong." A little later in the bathroom, when everyone was bathing, Barry came near Nelson. He was a sturdy, hairy black man. His eyes were on Nelson. But John, moving forward, threatened everyone. "This is mine, okay?" But then Barry started saying, "How should we believe you?" To prove his point, he gave a massive slap on Biederman's backside. "My property. Stay away from it, okay?" Later, Dwayne came to meet Nelson in jail. Nelson said, "Get me out as soon as possible. I am becoming people's property here." But now Dwayne started saying, "Now the control of the Biederman Foundation is not even in your hands. Where is the money for fighting the case, baby?" His lawyer was also teasing him. Meanwhile, John took care every day that Nelson's jail life was a headache. Every day, the man living in the cell next to him would punch him. In exchange for every punch, the cigarette pack that John got, Nelson found weird things in his food. One day, sitting in the bathroom, Nelson was cutting his nails like a nymph. Then Barry came there and, looking at Nelson, said, "This is the crime I commit repeatedly. I am a man. I love men." Seeing the intensity of his love, John also agreed, but in exchange, he asked for a lot of cigarettes and some stuff, too. According to jail standards, he had set a very high price for Nelson, but Barry agreed to this. After this, John made a setting with a guard that take me from the room on any pretext, and as soon as the cell door opened, Nelson got scared. But Barry said, "Relax, bro.
Why are you so scared? Nothing will happen."
But then, within just a few seconds, Barry's men picked him up. Putting a paper bag over his head, they took him to Barry's room. Barry welcomed him while giving him alcohol. As soon as Barry saw him, he said, "Your belly has come out completely, huh?" He was treating Nelson like a newlywed bride, saying, "Don't be so restless, come to me." Poor Nelson was trembling with fear, but he had no choice. Barry said, "I really love you, and I am leaving you just like this for today, my love. But remember one thing. I will do what I want, when I want, and don't refuse me." After this, time kept passing like this, and Nelson made it a habit to write a diary. Today, he was sitting on the floor with his back against the iron bars, writing something in his diary. Then, one of Leonard's men came and urinated right on his diary. He had just come to give a warning that Leonard was going to come out of solitary confinement soon. "And then what will happen to you? Your soul will tremble." Then John explained to him that Leonard wouldn't kill him all at once. He would beat him repeatedly. He would give pain slowly. And it's possible that after many months, he might kill him one day if his mood was right. In the cafeteria, the situation got even worse. John said, "I have heard that the time to kill you has been fixed." At this, Nelson decided, "I will go once and try to talk." John knew that this was a very big mistake. Still, he said, Yes, surely everything can become right through talk." Now Nelson went to the table of Leonard's gang and started giving a speech from the heart. "Brother, if a person makes a mistake, then the one who forgives is greater, right? Now you are the great one." But hearing just this much, Leonard pierced a fork into one of his legs. Then, as soon as Nelson screamed, he pierced it into his other leg too and said, "Yes, now this is fine. It's equal." Now poor Nelson was leaning and crying. After this, Leonard said, "You have courage, boy. Apart from you, only one man stood before me like this, my own father. But you know, I came here after killing him." Nelson, despite being a fool, understood that now his time had come near. Poor guy limped back to his table and told his friend John that, "My death has been postponed for a few days." At night in their cell, John told him, "You have only a few options. First, you won't like it. Second is you fight him in private. Third is that he will slowly kill you himself, so just wait." When he didn't like any option, John told him the fourth option, do some stunt and go into solitary confinement. They can't kill you there. Hearing this, Nelson said, "That's fine, but how will I get it?" But before he could ask anything, John threw his ball towards the guard and then he hid behind Nelson. As soon as the guard came, John punched the guard on the face from behind. It seemed as if Nelson had thrown this punch, and the guards picked him up and put him in solitary confinement, the farthest away. 2 days in that dark box, no light, no sense of time, just with his thoughts, he was slowly going crazy. When the guards brought Nelson back to his cell, he was completely shaken. Then he went to an old dealer present in the jail. He said, "Brother, I am tired of this life. I want to remove all my sorrows." And that dealer, who knows what he was smoking? He thought that Nelson wanted to get rid of life itself. Instead of giving Nelson something intoxicating, he gave him something poisonous. Nelson also didn't ask many questions and comfortably brought the medicine. There in their cell, John saw that Leonard's whole crew was coming towards them. Without saying anything, he quietly left. Within a few seconds, the gang was inside. The leader said to all the others, "You guys wait outside. I will finish his work alone." He launched an attack, but Nelson also didn't give up. He blocked some punches. He even landed 1 or 2. Then he climbed onto the top bunk and gave 2 or 4 good kicks from there. Now blood was coming out of Leonard's nose. Just then, a syringe fell down from above. It was filled with the same poison that Nelson had brought. Leonard saw it and stopped, asking, "What is this?" To this, Nelson said, "These kinds of things will end all tension. It will be fun." That's what I was told. Hearing this, Leonard injected that syringe himself, and by luck, now Nelson's problem was solved on its own. The noise happening outside the cell suddenly became silent. Nelson dragged Leonard's corpse out and said to his companions, "If anyone else wants to die, come inside." Hearing this, the rest of the gang immediately retreated. Just then, John entered the cell. He started acting as if he was only with Nelson. Then he said very calmly, "Killing someone inside jail adds 20 more years." But Nelson just smiled slightly and said, "I didn't kill anyone." Then John spoke slowly, "I hadn't thought of this." At this, Nelson immediately caught him. "What did you want, man? That I should die?" But John very cleverly brushed the matter off. In the canteen, now when Nelson made his entry with John, the whole hall became silent. Then a boy from the White Kingdom gang came from behind. John immediately turned. The fork was ready in his hand. He was thinking that a fight was about to happen, but he had come not to fight, but to extend a hand of friendship. He said, "Leonard used to trouble us anyway, so you have liberated us." Now everyone started looking at Nelson with respect, because he had killed the most dangerous prisoner in the jail. Now John thought to himself, "I will have to make him fight someone. Otherwise, people will think he is very tough." He said to another prisoner, "Stand up, man. The boss has to sit." He didn't get up at first, but then Nelson gave insults and said, "Stand up, man," just to show his power, after which that prisoner quietly left from there. But from this, John understood that his whole game had backfired. A little later, Nelson went to the bathroom and again bumped into Barry, who started saying, "Remember what we both talked about?" When Barry came near him in his romantic style, Nelson pushed him hard and also landed 2 punches, and that too straight on the face. At this, Barry, getting angry, caught his throat, but Nelson said, "But you were saying you love me. A little bickering happens in love, doesn't it, baby?" Hearing this, Barry stopped. Poor guy got emotional. Nelson also spread his arms. "Come, hug me." Barry immediately started coming towards him, but in the meantime, the White Kingdom gang came inside. They had received news by now that Barry was doing wrong to their new companion. They all together pounced on Barry. Nelson came in between and shouted, "Stop, enough." But by then the guards came there, and this time they thought that John had done everything, who was sitting in the corner like a boss watching all this. And this time, John was picked up and put in that closed box. When he came out, the atmosphere of the jail had completely changed. His roommate Nelson is now everyone's favorite. He started teaching karate to the other prisoners. People laughed at his words. Wherever he went, someone or the other stayed around him. And what's more, he became the leader of the jail's theater group. Now Nelson went to John and thanked him. He said, "Brother, if you hadn't been there, I wouldn't have been able to endure all this. You have taught me how to live." Seeing all this, John's mind was shaken. Getting frustrated, he caused destruction in the whole cell. He had lost his freedom deliberately so that he could trouble the judge's son in jail, not so that he could see him enjoying the jail. Meanwhile, Barry and Nelson now actually became quite close, meaning very close. One day, Nelson was alone in the cell, and John came there. He started giving a long, broad speech. "I am very proud of you, brother. Look how far you've come. Tomorrow is your hearing. I hope that you will be released." He had a can in his hand, which he gave to Nelson and said, "This is a gift for our parting." But the can was already open. Nelson got a little suspicious of this, but John immediately said, "Let me make you suspicious of me? On me, you dirty." To remove the suspicion, he took the first sip himself and then, acting poor, started saying, "Brother, I am very hurt." Hearing this, Nelson melted and he drank the whole can in one go, which was his very big mistake. Something had been mixed inside that drink. Within a few minutes, Nelson became unconscious. Until then, John remained calm and threw up himself, getting the medicine out. Then, he quickly moved his plan forward. The next morning, Nelson was taken to court for his hearing. He said before the judges, "Jail has changed me. I have become a new person." But white power was written on his forehead and Nazi marks were on his neck. Seeing all this, the judges rejected his early release and also wrote that he should be taken out of jail only after the full time is completed. Soon Nelson also saw the things made on his neck and forehead, and he understood who had done all this. As soon as he returned to the cell, he pounced on John. A fierce scuffle broke out between the two. Punches started raining from both sides, but in the end, John took advantage of being an old player and he started winning. When John was pressing him against the iron bars, he told the truth. "Your father sentenced me again and again. He never gave me a chance to improve. Because of him, I sent you here. I brought you here." Hearing this, Nelson got very angry and he slammed John's head on the iron of the bunk bed. Just then, the guards came there and, stopping their fight, said, "If you both have to fight, then fight properly." A fight was fixed for them in the field outside, which would have no rules. The fight would not end until one of them died. Since then, an eye was kept on them 24 hours so that they wouldn't kill each other before the fight. All the guards and prisoners, everyone started betting on who would win. Money had been staked. The warden had also put money on this. Then one day during visiting hours, someone came to meet Nelson. It was Barry. Now he had been released from jail, but he couldn't spend his life without his love, Nelson. He started saying, "I am thinking of committing some crime and coming back." But Nelson said, "Don't do anything like that. In this world, only you are my family." To this, Barry said, "I am ready to do anything for you. Just tell me once." Then suddenly an idea came to Nelson's mind. In another part of the city, Dwayne was playing golf in his office. As soon as his phone rang, Nelson said, "Get me out of here quickly." Dwayne reminded him, "Now you are not the chairman. You don't have money. How will you pay my fee?" To this, Nelson said, "I cannot become the head, but my son can take my place, right? I have adopted someone. He must be coming to your office." Just then, Barry burst into the office. He was a 150-kilogram son. He told Dwayne, "Get out of here because now the chairman's chair is mine." Soon the fight broke out between the two prisoners. This is where the story had begun. John climbed onto Nelson and then rubbed a part of his shirt, which he had soaked in industrial cleaner, on Nelson's face. This was enough to spoil Nelson's balance, and John kicked him hard. Then both suddenly took out syringes so they could prick and kill each other with poison. Suddenly, Nelson's mood changed. He said, "Let's stop everything. Let's consider it a draw, brother." Both agreed to this, and then suddenly he said, "I have learned one thing here, don't trust anyone." And the very next second he gave the injection to John. But John had also given his injection to Nelson before dying. Both fell together as if they had died. Soon the medical team came there and declared both dead. Soon both were buried, and now the power of the Biederman Foundation was given entirely to Nelson's only son, Barry. But after everyone left, Barry dug the grave, and out came a living Nelson. All this was part of the plan. Actually, Nelson had already taken medicine from the dealer, which could keep any man unconscious for 3 days. That is what they had injected each other with. By giving a lot of money to the medical staff, Barry had already bought them. Standing near the second grave, Nelson thought, "Let's leave him here to die." But then Barry got emotional, and they pulled John out. There was some argument. Then both shook hands and buried the old enmity right there. 1 year later, we saw that all these people were living their great lives.